Better than Lego. Better than Lego.
Matthew Johns is in position for a long-range shot. He's with it now, Matthew Johns. Here goes the kick from Johns.
Aha. Welcome to John's Family Podcast for this week as we edge towards September. People, why is that relevant to the podcast? Well, it's not relevant at all. Actually, as we're playing this, it'll be September 2.
I know,
so
spring.
there you go. Welcome to September, people. So is that spring? Does it
First of
spill over into
September.
spring?
Yep.
You can actually feel the difference. We're recording this on the Tuesday, and you can feel the difference, can't you?
Yeah,
In
but I
the
think
air?
unfortunately we may get another bit of a chill, but
Yeah,
we'll take it while it's here.
didn't know you were a...
Meteorologist? Wow.
Is it a meteorologist? Isn't it someone who looks at the stars? Oh, no, it's an astrologist. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're looking at the sky one way or another. All the usual stuff today. Predicament of the week. We got some. I tell you why, people. I'm super sharp at the moment. I'll go into the reason why. Cooper went for dinner with Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal. Lots of stuff coming up. Jack Johnson's tip as far as what we got to listen to. And Trish, what is the theme? You've kept the theme secret from me this week.
Yeah. Well, the surprise is because it's Father's Day on Sunday this weekend.
The greatest day of the year.
We are focusing today's theme on you, Matthew.
My favourite subject. Okay.
So, boys and I put our thinking caps on and come up with some good Matthew stories. So hopefully we should keep you well entertained.
I'd be very, very careful. Okay.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm the boss of this podcast.
Yeah, but you don't do the editing, I do.
Okay. Right. What are we leading off with?
Okay. So, guys, as we welcome you in today, if Matt was a dad from a sitcom or a TV series or movie, which one would he be and why? Coops?
Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's very much dad's humour, that sort of dry dad humour. And I feel like that family sort of relates to us a little bit dysfunctional and a bit of a crazy wife.
I'm Claire. Yeah,
So
she's a bit OCD.
Hang on a second. So Phil Dunphy, which one's that one? Is that the?
He's kind of the hopeless real estate agent dude.
Yeah, it's the dad. He comes up with a book called Phil's Osophy, and he has a lot of different sort of things in there. He like little life lessons. He always says, one of his life lessons, my favorite one is, he said, always look someone in the eye, even if they're blind. Say, I'm looking you in the eye. Things like that.
That's your favourite?
He's
So
an
I
awkward man.
don't watch a lot of this show, but if that's as good as it gets, I won't be watching it.
Well, mate, he relates to you, so it's quite a little rap on yourself.
Oh, yeah. What do you got, Trish?
I've got Al Bundy, married with children.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that is. I mean,
Yeah.
I do spend most of my weekends just watching TV,
That's
drinking beer with my
right.
hands
Tick.
in my pants.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
Kind of
that.
hopeless.
I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're the skanky wife?
I'm the skanky wife tottering around in heels, if only they didn't damage my neck.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah. Jacko, what about you?
Oh, yeah, I went for Bob Saget in Full House.
Mate, rest in
obviously
peace, old mate.
He's obviously a great family man, and there's a bit of obvious sexual tension between him and all his friends. So, yeah, that's why.
It was funny. It was a shame when he dropped off the perch because he was a listener of the podcast.
Oh.
We've lost a listener there. Oh, okay, I've just got one when you've thrown it. I've gone Tony Danza's character and Who's the Boss, Tony Maselli. What do you think?
For yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think so.
I was a big fan. I love that show, Tony Danza. Is he still alive, Tony Danza, Trish?
I'm not sure. I haven't been checking the obituaries, but I think he probably is.
Maybe. Look, people, give us a bit of feedback. Let us know if he's alive. Have you had dinner with him?
Is he Italian?
Yeah.
name would
he absolutely is.
lend
He
itself
actually
to it.
he spent a bit of time in the in jail when he was a young bloke. So there you go.
Oh, yeah, he's still alive, Tony Danza.
Is he?
71 years old he is.
71. Where'd that time go?
Oh,
Right.
Same place that your time went. Hey,
Perpetually
can we
young.
give an honourable mention to Frank Costanza? That's George's dad
I
on
lo-
Seinfeld.
I reckon
That was the other one I had for you.
Is that Ben Stiller's father?
Yeah,
that
it
is.
is. Yeah.
that is. I reckon they're the best, two of the best castings in TV history. The Costanzas,
The mum and
George's
dad.
mum and dad. Georgie, what are you doing? I leave you for 2 minutes. I come back and you're treating yourself like an amusement park. Very good. Yeah. Boys, what's been happening in your week?
No, not too much at the minute, Big M. Obviously, a bit of a tough loss for us last week against the Roosters.
Tough game.
Yeah, it was a tough game. Very physical game. A few boys a bit battered and bruised after it, but no, I think it's probably good to have one of those games before finals. Am I right, Cobber?
I think so. The most pressing thing is Nelson, has he got those teeth removed from his elbow yet?
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nelson's my favourite, so you shush.
Yeah. Jack Johns, last week at Gold Coast, it was the clash between the two teams that Trish predicted for the grand final, the Gold Coast Titans and the Newcastle Knights. Your 18th man, unfortunately, of course, your speech probably didn't inspire anybody, unless, of course, the Titans were listening through the walls of the dressing room.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of an issue, Cobber. I did this big old gladiatorial speech before the match. Unfortunately, I realised I was in the wrong sheds. I was in Justin Holbrook's headquarters, which is disappointing. But disappointing loss on the weekend. We just got back actually last night from the Gold Coast. So, yeah, it was very disappointing.
Jack, I believe that you had a visitor after the game, Gordon Tallis, the great Gordon Tallis, come in and saw you.
I think you had a number of people come visit him.
Yeah, saw a few. There was a few. Jem, Beck, and Gordy. They grabbed me after the game and had a little chat with me, see how we're going. Yeah, they're good people. They're good people, mate.
Can I just have something clear? You don't have a quick chat with Gordon, okay? Don't have a little chat. It's always a long chat. You know, it's
just a couple cuddles from me and Gordon, and then we dissipated, mate.
Oh,
okay.
he's a
Can I ask you
cuddler.
guys a question? Do you think those three would have come and visited Jack if the Titans had been beat?
Yes.
Because
Yes, they would have.
I've played the Titans 3 times and I've won all 3 times and they've never come and visited me.
Yeah, but did you play them at the Gold Coast? No.
I played them at Gold Coast once, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Well, I think it probably gives an indication of what they think of you and what they think of Jack. There's a very, very simple solution to that. Very simple answer.
That's not true. You're very well thought of. Okay. All right. Next theme is, what's the most cringe-worthy or memorable moment from Matthew?
Don't mention Channel 7, please.
Who'd like to start? Oh, actually, let me start.
Go on.
Okay. Well, after our second date, he took me to meet his parents. And as actually, it's not Matthew
Was that
as much
you?
as...
Was that you?
As much as his dad. And as I'm walking up the path towards the house, I hear this, Struth, Matt's brought a Sheila home.
Oh, yeah. And no, he said you missed a word. Another Sheila. That's what he said.
No, it was surprise and shock.
Do you know what it was about? I tell you what it was about that day, which I look back on
memorable day.
on fond memories, is the fact that when I grew up, you know, going to school at Maitland Morris Brothers, there was always a bit of sort of banter between people from, you know, Cessnock and Beresfield, Woodbury, Curry, and they used to always give it to us Cessnock blokes, because it was the furthest destination away. They used to go, oh my God, mate, that hole. If you went any further west, you'd fall off the face of the earth. And it wasn't until I remember driving, as you're driving, you know, up towards the vineyards, sometimes you're heading up the Neath Hill and you come over to the tops when you get the first view of Cessnock. And I've always, because of that, it's always sort of marked how I've thought about the town. You know, it was a coal mining town and still city town.
And it was my first visit there.
And as we're coming over the hill, you went, oh my God, it's beautiful. And I remember looking out at all the mountains, Wattigan Mountains and everything, and I thought, yeah, it is.
See, I opened your eyes, Matthew.
Yes.
Which leads me to my next weird moment. When you dropped me off before you went to training that afternoon.
Yeah.
And we'd had a lovely day, la, la, la. He goes, oh, I'll see you around. I went into my neighbour, Jody.
I like it, mate. Treat him mean, keep him keen.
Yeah, it's
like
always
puzzled
worked.
and went, what do you make of this? He went, oh, no, you're not hearing from him again. I went, oh, whatever.
Yeah, and I did.
Mate, it was
the next time I turned up, I never left.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Yeah. Jack, what's your most memorable cringe-worthy moment of Matthew?
Probably my time at the Colliery Beach Club as a bartender after I finished high school. Cobb would make his way to the second floor during cocktail happy hour when I'd usually be working Wednesdays, Friday nights. And they usually had a live solo artist on Friday nights. Yeah. And Cobbo would somehow get up there and jump on stage for no apparent reason and take over. Yeah. Not that the crowd asked for it ever.
No, I just sensed they wanted it.
Yeah, but the other times too. Obviously, there was a collection of Skull vodkas that staff had kept in memory of Cobber, leaving them next to the pokie machines after he'd snuck them in from the bottle across the road. But also, whenever the girls would see you in the pokey area, I'd go, they go, your old man's in the pokey area. I said, what's he doing? They go, what's he playing? And they go, we'll go back and I'll check. And they'd come back and go, he's doing like 10-cent hits. I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Tight ass.
Look, people, just
No,
ignore
that's called
that.
sensible.
I'm actually a high roller, Yeah. That was true. I mean, because what it was, the prices of vodka and soda was exorbitant. It was like $9. So I used to go across the road, buy my own, stuff them in my pockets, and then just hide them behind the pokies. So anyway, I didn't realise they were catching me out. I used to go in there thinking I was being real sure. Girls, can I just get a pint of soda water? Sure. Anything else? Yeah. And meanwhile, anywho.
They weren't confused when you couldn't look straight when you're walking out the door?
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, there's so many for big. There's literally so many.
Don't limit yourself to one.
Oh, well, I'll give one a quick mention, but everyone's heard it before. Obviously, the dressing sheds at halftime with Melbourne. Back at the Battle of Brookvale. That was a very cringe-worthy moment. Especially the worst thing was, how we got on the team bus after it, and after a loss, and Dad was chanting and singing, all that sort of stuff. And I think years later, sort of going to the Storm and everybody continuing to bring that up, that was pretty embarrassing. And playing with people that were probably actually playing that day and remember it, that wasn't very good. But the most cringeworthy thing I've ever seen was my 18th birthday. I've told this a couple times before, but never in this sort of detail. We were all there. I had a broken leg, so I was on crutches. And Dad, several times through the night, proceeded to come up to me and a group of 20 of my friends, and he kept joking, "So where are we going to go tonight, boys?" And just sort of sat there awkwardly fishing, waiting for somebody to sort of say, "Yeah, you should come out with us." No one did. And then sort of towards the end, when we were about to leave to go into Manly, Dad came up to me and he goes, "Mate, are you all right? I'm really worried about you with your leg." And I was like, "No, I'll be fine. And he goes, "Mate, I'm going to come with you. Can you go up to your mum? Can you go up to Trish and just ask her, just say, look, like, because of my leg, I really want Dad to come out and look after me." And I was like, yeah, okay. So I went up and told Mum. Mum was not very happy about it, but she was like, I understand. So Dad's come out. He forgot his phone and wallet. So all the boys, a lot of Jack's friends were out with us as well. They proceeded to shout him all night.
You tight ass.
And we put him in a cab and sent him home.
This
a cab you also had to pay for, apparently.
Guys, can I just say something? This is supposed to be a celebration of Father's Day. This is so far character assassination.
Well, you said it.
Yeah. On a different.
Just imagine how those boys feel having you as their dad.
Awesome. Tonight, Trish, as people are listening to this, we are going to the opening of Allianz Stadium.
Yeah.
What an occasion. And Rabbitohs versus Roosters. It's going to be really exciting, but I can't wait to see the new ground.
It looks incredible.
Looks
Driving
awesome.
around it looks incredible.
And did you know, Trish, on that theme of having drinks tonight, actually from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, Trish, it's half-price drinks at the ground.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm not drinking.
Oh, you're not? Oh, great. We've got a driver.
No, I'm not driving either because it'd be too hard to drive out there.
Why don't you who do you reckon? It's a big game, actually, Roosters Rabbitohs. Who do you think's going to I'll go first. I think the Roosters, if they play the way they did against us last week, I think they're going to be extremely hard to beat. I
think they're going to be fairly depleted after last week.
No Lindsay Collins, no Victor Radley,
and exhausted.
I'm going to go for the. They are firing. They're playing fantastic, but I'm going to go for the Bunnies.
Me too.
There's something I'll say that South Sydney, like, it's the game. Even though it's a game that's pretty much now relevant for each club, it's the rivalry there is next level.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen a rivalry quite like it. Like, I'm sure Russell will get on a Zoom call before the game and rev them up before it starts, before they go out to after warm up. Before they go on the field, they get Russell on the Zoom call and get him to do like a big, gladiator speech before they run out.
Who's that? Is that Russell Coight?
Yeah, They get Glenn Robbins on Zoom, and they.
Where has he gone? I missed him.
He's awesome. It is interesting, Jack. Like, because you know yourself that rivalry, how much, and it's just like a lot of times rivalries get pumped up and don't mean a lot, but this one, it is the best rivalry in Australian sport. and there is a bit at stake. I mean, they're jostling for positioning in the top 8. There's every chance that they could play this week and then back up and play next week again, which would be huge.
Yeah.
I said before, I'm feeling super sharp.
Sorry. Back up and play each other again next week?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a possibility?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, it
right.
is.
I didn't know that.
Feeling super sharp once again. Is Trish, you were given some tablets or
Well, someone recommended them to me.
Andrew Johns? No.
No.
Friends of ours,
Who've been taking them and said that it's for memory and focus.
and it's been incredible.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm using it. I can't tell much of a difference.
Yeah, true. It's hard to multiply from zero. I have, but I can almost stare through walls. I'm just remembering my recount is better than it's ever been. Although
Really?
I was on radio the other day with Vossi, and Vossi goes, "Oh, what are the tablets called?" And I actually couldn't remember, which was probably defeats. Probably eliminates what I'm talking about. And someone got on the radio, rang when they heard that, and said that he once went to a Barbara Streisand concert and she forgot the words to Memories, which I thought was
They're called
very
On
cool.
It.
On It?
Jeez, that's a name.
But I'm yet to give my evaluation. I'm not sure.
Now, Trish, anything of your week of note?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I've been doing a lot of catching up with people. I'm a little bit worried. It's
Yeah, you
like with
are.
old friends, but loads over the last weekend and the week before.
Boyfriends.
Yeah.
No boyfriends.
Yeah,
I
miss
don't know
it.
where they all are.
Yeah. Most of them are retirement homes.
I'm a little worried. It's almost like a bit of a pre-eulogy. Something's going to happen to me that I'm doing this catch-up. But anyway.
okay.
And in more exciting news, I avoided near catastrophe this week. See, every street usually has what's called a bin leader, and I'm it for our street. Everyone looks to me for guidance. I put the bin out early, usually the day before, the morning of, and everyone follows my lead because no one bothers to remember which bin it is.
Don't know
Last
about
week,
that.
I put the wrong bin out because I was away the week before. Thankfully, Rosemary saved me. She
Which one did you put out?
But then I had to message all the neighbours like, guys, I think you followed my lead. And they all went, oh, my God, we did. Thank you.
What bin did you put out?
I put out the cardboard bin
Oh, no.
when it was bottle bin.
Oh, God.
Dun, dun, dun.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, Matt, we've got a couple of questions for you. Now, what's the most awkward interaction you've had when a stranger's ever come up to you? Because you have a lot of awkward interactions with people, and I hate it when you actually address people by their name because oftentimes it's the wrong name.
Yeah. One is, I get this one occasionally. People will just come up strangely out of nowhere and say, "Oh, I just want to let you know I don't know who you are."
Yeah, that's
I say, who do you think I am? And they'll go, "Are you this?" And I say, "No, I'm not that person. I'm actually not that person who you think I am. Who is that person that you don't know who I am?" And then they explain who that person is, and I say, "But hang on, you don't know that person. How do you know all that about it?" So that sort of gets a bit awkward. The other one I get right is this happens quite a bit, is people will come up, and this I think just happens to everyone occasionally. People will come up and go, "G'day, Matty, how you going, mate? Now, hey, now do you remember me?" And I just go, "Oh, here we go. Now, come on, mate, do you remember me? You remember?" And I always go, "Oh, God, you look familiar. Oh, let me think. Yeah. Steve Brady. Remember we met in 1995. You went down to the newsagents and you were getting the 442 soccer magazine. And I said, "How you going, mate?" And you said, "Oh, going good." And I said, "Oh, my name is Steve Brady." And I go, "That's right, Steve. It's great to see you again." But you're right. I have I'm not good at people's names. I'm like, I shouldn't say that, not being rude, but the more confident I get, usually the more inaccurate I am. Do you remember the time we had neighbours up at New Lambton, and they come in next door, and they've been neighbours.
Jack was just born,
Yep.
and they came in to see Jack.
And they came in to see Jack, and they had 2 kids, and I thought, and I said, "And how's Jim and Sally? Hey, how they going? Young Jim and Sally."
Well, young Sally was standing there when you were calling her the wrong name.
Yeah, and young Jim, mate, see him out there kicking the ball around. Geez, a good kid. And they went, "Who?" "It's Laura and Simon." And I went, oh, okay.
It was so
I'm
awkward.
thinking of the kids over the other side. Sorry, there are no kids. At the
Yeah,
other
there's
side.
not. They're an older couple.
And I think everyone can relate to this. Do you know, like, if you, not that I've gone to a school reunion, but if you go to somewhere, right, and it can be a function, it could be Knights Old Boys and all that, and you walk into a place and you've got to do rapid fire recognition. So people will just come up and go, hey, Trish, how you going? And you're getting one after the other, and you're going, and some of the people you haven't seen for 20 years, and you're just trying to get it all together. So you do the muffled thing. Oh, mate, yes. Oh, mate, how are you? Sing? You going good?
Just be generic.
See.
I think it's easier for guys because you can do the mate thing.
No. Because then they know. If you say, oh, g'day, mate, or how are you, champion, straight away, or how are you, big fella, straight away they know. You're better off just going, if I was to do it to you, go, how you going, Matt? And I'd say, oh, how are you? And you just get that sound that sounds like it.
No, I reckon you're just better off to give them a compliment straight off the cuff.
No, you can't do
get
that,
them off
Trish,
balance.
because that can be a fatal error. Like if you call someone champ or muscles, like it sounds like a compliment, but it certainly is not.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm going, geez, you look fit.
Jeez.
You know what I mean?
It's just
Yeah, and then what?
Yeah.
Yeah, how you been? What have you been doing? Training? You just
Geez,
veer the
you've-
conversation somewhere.
Geez, Dal, you've lost some weight.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Geez, when are you expecting?
Actually, hey, isn't like with the HR chats these days, isn't it that you're not actually allowed to mention anyone's physical appearance at all? You can't even say you look nice.
Which
is insane.
That one's completely off limits. We had one recently, they just said, just be very, very careful, which was problematic because I'd said one of the girls at work who just come in with a different hairstyle, and I said, new hairstyle really suits you, which I thought was a nice compliment. Surely that's okay.
Well, you
and
would
they
think
said,
so.
They said it's borderline.
Oh, my
I'm just
God.
going, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I mean, essentially they're wanting people to not interact.
Yeah.
Become robots.
Yeah, well, they have with people interact, but it's not male-female interaction. That's what they're saying is sort of just be very, very careful there. So next time I saw her, I said, I had to think about your hair again. It's really awful. Can you change it back?
Matt, you had a case of mistaken identity last week.
Oh, no.
It was hilarious. Go.
Remind me again. Those tablets probably aren't working as
Yeah,
well.
maybe not. It's someone who you thought played Molly Meldrum.
Oh, man. Okay. He played Molly Meldrum on the on the Molly tribute.
Have you forgotten his name?
Show, no, Samuel Johnson. Samuel Johnson. He was been lots of Australian shows and numerous movies. Nice guy. Really, really does a lot of work for cancer charities.
Yeah, his sister passed away from cancer. I
And
think.
anyway, I'm walking sort of across the road at the pedestrian crossing at Sydney Airport, and he comes walking the other way. I said, "Oh, Samuel, how you going, mate?" And he goes, "Oh, g'day, Matty. How you doing?" I said, "Oh, mate, I'm going really good, mate. What's doing?" And he said, "Oh, mate, not much, mate. Oh, where you come back from? Adelaide. What have you been shooting a TV show there, Samuel?" And he goes, "Mate, I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not that bloke. My name's John." And I went, "Oh, okay. How are you, John?"
How long did you talk for?
About 2 minutes.
Before poor John threw it. Hang on.
Dear John.
Dear John.
Trish, I tell you what, talking about some of the things we see in media or social media this week, it's been a real bad few weeks for public transport. A number of things happen. This was a great story. The bus driver in Sydney, he was the bus driver at the retirement village, busted watching porn while driving. It was a cop driving past in a car who looked in, and he was sitting there watching pornography while he was driving. The other one,
I just don't get any aspect of that. He's
see
watching
the issue
something
in it?
while he's driving, let alone porn.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I agree, Trish. I don't see the issue at all.
No. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Oh my God.
Uh,
and he's in care of the elderly.
Wait,
they haven't got that much longer left.
so what's he do? Is he got one hand on the wheel and he's holding the phone up like that, watching it?
I'd say it's in the brace, but he's got one hand on the wheel,
Stop it.
tearing the ears off it. And the other one was two apologies to people in retirement villages. People who've got friends.
Do you think we're
family
popular in retirement villages?
Definitely.
Oh.
Although they don't know how to use podcasts or phones or computers, unless they're driving a bus. The other one was listen to these two from aeroplanes. On a flight from Geneva to Paris on Air France, two pilots got into a fist fight in the cockpit. Yep.
That's dangerous.
And the steward had to go in there and sit between them until the flight landed. And the last one, this is the kicker, on Ethiopia Airlines, two pilots fell asleep.
But I mean, it is an autopilot, isn't it?
Yeah, but you still need someone watching in case things go wrong.
It would be slightly unnerving.
Wow. And I saw one. Nichelle Nichols from Star Trek, the original Star Trek, passed away the other week, and she's actually having her ashes taken into space.
Oh, is she?
There's a company that does that, specialises in it. Who'd be keen to do that? I reckon I would, because I don't really know what I'd like done with my ashes.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Spread them on Uranus.
Oh. Ding dong.
Mate, what did I tell you about these tablets, people? You're on it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Okay. Back to our theme. What problem would you go to Matt with, boys? And which problem would you not go to Matt with?
Please don't say erectile dysfunction.
Let me kick this off. I don't think there's any problem that I wouldn't feel comfortable going to Matthew about.
Oh.
Thanks.
I feel like he's a great listener, and I feel like he's very open-minded. Doesn't get too aggressive like Trish probably does when you go to her with some problems. And it's a judgment-free zone. Probably the only problem I wouldn't go, if I needed something from like the top of the closet, like if I needed like some food from the top of the cupboard, I'm probably not going to Big M unless there's a step ladder there, obviously. But I feel like he does that very well. So there's one wrap for you.
Thanks, Coop. And that's exactly the most important wrap I was looking for. Jack, I'm looking at you at the moment. You look rather uninterested. I'm sort of thinking to myself that there's nothing you come to me with.
Oh, sorry, Colin. Yeah, forgot we're doing this. I go to you with like life questions. You know what I mean? Like things about your everyday life and how to approach things and that sort of stuff. But anything that like requires like proper intelligence. Yeah, I'd probably go to Trish. Like anything to do with any sort of accounting or anything that really requires things to get your head around, and wit and
fine motor skills.
Sorry, let me take mine back. I'm with Jack as well. Like anything that I go to Trish. Life admin stuff goes to Trish. I was meaning more like life problems.
Yeah.
Big M's good advice to give her.
Yeah. Fine motor skills. Please don't come my way. What are you, Trish?
Okay. Well, if you can't get into a bar, you go and see Matt.
Yep.
He just gets people in anywhere.
I can talk our way in.
Yeah, anywhere. The thing I'm not going to him with is, Matt, my car's not working, or I've got a flat tyre.
Yeah. Yep. And probably, paying bills. I don't think I've ever paid a bill.
No, I don't think you have. And also, oh my God, we've got a bust water pipe, or the toilet's overflowing, or the roof's leaking.
Do you know, you reminded me there, a little while ago, I was driving and there was a person on the side of the road and I just sort of went past. I don't know why. I just went, oh, you okay, mate? Because he's looking under the hood. I thought he might have needed... And he goes... oh, mate, I'm just, I don't know, I'm having a bit of trouble with this. Anyway, I thought, oh, no, I've committed so far.
What compelled you?
So I've pulled over on the side of the road, jumped out, and I'm looking underneath the hood, and he's going, mate, what do you reckon? And I'm going, yep, yeah, mate, just have a look at this.
Matt, always check the spark plugs.
Yeah, I said, mate, the belt looks fine. That looks fine. Have you checked the oil? Yeah, check the oil. So it was fine. Okay, the water's sweet. Mate, I'd take it to a service centre and maybe get it checked out a little bit. He goes, yeah, mate, yeah, it's good.
What was the symptom, Matt? Smoke coming out.
The car wouldn't
stopped.
start.
Well, then how the hell's the poor man getting it to the service centre?
That's a good one.
Did you get your rope out and tow him?
No, I wouldn't. Remember the old days? You don't see that much anymore, do you?
No, but
There's professional towing devices. Back in the day, remember you'd have the rope. Man, slightly risky.
Yeah.
Okay, predicament of the week time. People, righto. This is going to be a real test of your moral compass and your courage. You're out in a boat with friends. Everyone's having a few drinks. Suddenly, 3 great white sharks start circling the boat and a friend falls in and can't swim. Trish, what do you do? I think that
I'm
pause
throwing.
says it all.
Okay, no, I'm thinking. I'm planning. I'm trying to be smart about it. Well, they can't swim. I'm throwing them a flotation device
no.
immediately.
No,
And then what I'm
there's-
going to try and
stop.
do on the other side of the boat
Stop.
is distract them.
I forgot to
Maybe
say
get
that
some
there are no
bait.
rescue devices on there. There are no rescue
Oh,
devices.
well, that's inaccurate because every boat must have
Well,
flotation devices.
They're breaking the rules.
Oh.
They're breaking the rules. There's nothing.
My friends wouldn't break the rules.
No.
They wouldn't.
You're not it. Answer the question, righto. Do you let your friend be basically massacred and torn apart by great white sharks, or do you jump in and have a crack?
But jump in and do what, Matt?
Maybe try to drag them back on the boat. I don't know. You wouldn't jump in and pat them on the back.
Well, no,
I think
I'd
with the
throw my arm in and pull them up, but I don't think I'm hopping in there, no.
Okay.
No, if it was one of my children, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If it was one of my children, I would. But then again, I think that's just making the problem worse. You've got to be smart about these things.
Sorry. So you can't, I'm not going to jump in just to make the problem worse. So they'll eat my friend and they'll probably eat me. So that just makes things worse. Surely you'd have a crack.
Have a crack at what? What do you expect me to
Have
do?
Have a crack at rescuing them. Have a crack at being a hero.
What are you doing then, Dad?
Hey,
Go.
FYI, I'm not a very good swimmer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If I was a really good swimmer, maybe. I'm not even a great swimmer. I'd probably go in there and drown.
I'd jump in. I'd go and have a crack.
How many drinks have you had?
30.
Yeah, you would jump in.
Well, can I ask you one question? How close are the sharks? Are they
Yeah,
on him?
that's where I was
Are they
going.
on him? Are they on him as soon as he's in there, or what?
They're circling,
They're
righto.
circling. Three
They're
of them.
circling the boat. They haven't quite seen the friend yet, but you know that he's drifting further away from the boat. So you know it's just a matter of time till they spot him or her.
Oh well, if he's just jumped off, if he's just fell off the boat there, I'll jump in and help him back up. As long as if they haven't spotted it, if they're not 2 meters away from him, if they're a meter or two away from him, what's the point?
Your friend's
You know what I mean?
20 metres from the boat. That's the thing.
He's 20 meters.
Yep, he's fallen in. The boat's going away. So
Because the boat's moving, obviously.
Oh, him. What kind of question is that?
Yeah.
What if there's a small reward, Cooper, like $100,000 just to get him?
Yeah, but
Or in your case, Coop, front page of the paper, Cooper John's hero.
Yeah, Cooper Johns meets Shaq and Hero.
we haven't spoken about that.
We'll get to it.
Wait to my personal story.
Do you know what? I actually think that son number one, I know exactly what he'd do.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, you know what I'd do, mate? You know, what I'd do was, mate, I'd try and leak the engine to try and pollute the water with petroleum, trying to rid the sharks, and then hopefully it would dissipate scents, any sort of scents they've got, or at least piss them off, and then I'd go into. You got to take precautions, Colby. You can't just go in there and sacrifice yourself as well.
Yeah, that's right. You got to think.
That's why you're son number one. Well done. Right answer. Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear about Cooper having dinner with Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back to the podcast. Coop, Jack, the events of your weeks. Cooper, you and some of the Melbourne Storm boys went out with Shaquille O'Neal. I believe that Shaquille O'Neal was sitting next to Munster. Both their heads were spinning. How did you find him?
Mate, you met him as well. He was very, very cool. When he walked in, we went and got a photo with him earlier he was doing a promo somewhere, and then we went to the dinner, and there was probably about 25, 30 people at the dinner. We strategically placed ourselves very well. Munster was sitting next to him. Cheese was directly across from him, as was I and Jerome Hughes. And Shandor, of course, weaseled his way next to Munster. So
Well done,
He came out of
Shandor.
retirement for the night.
Actually, it's bloody funny. He was asking questions about league, and Shandor was answering them as though he was still playing with us. And all the words were looking at each other going, let's not let Shandor get away with this. But nah, he was cool. When he walked in, it went dead silent, and he didn't really say anything. He was a pretty cool dude. He didn't feel like he needed to entertain the room. If I hadn't have, some of the boys were like, "Oh, we need to ask him a question," so I just said, "Oh, Shaq," and like sort of try to initiate the conversation. I don't think if we hadn't asked him, I don't think he would have spoke. He would have just eaten his dinner and left. But it was cool. Once we sort of broke the ice with him, he was a cool dude. He was loving Munster. Munster was whispering sweet nothings in his ear the whole time.
I did see some footage of that.
Yeah, they were very tight. They were just giggling in each other's ears the whole time. It was very funny. Money was asking him some weird questions. The first question Money asked, he was asking him about the size of his appendage.
What?
Yeah, he asked him, he said, "Mate, you got a huge foot. Does your jock size match your foot?" And Shaq was like, "You know what, brother, it's even bigger."
Oh.
And Money was loving it. And yeah, he was just chewing his ear off the whole time.
So how did you get to have dinner with him?
So there's we've got a mutual friend who is one of the owners of the Hour Group, who are responsible for getting him out to Australia. And he's a really good dude. His name's Chris Tamplin, and he sort of looked after us and put us in, invited us to this dinner, and we helped him with a little bit of promotion stuff, but not that he really needed it. He was just sort of doing us a favor, and we were helping him back. But mate, it was awesome. It was such a cool experience. I was saying to someone earlier, it's like he's not even real. Like when you're sort of looking at him, it's almost like he's just like this fake person. Like it's like he's such an icon. It's like,
is it because he's so physically big as well?
People sometimes think of that about me when I meet them. I've heard that quite often.
It's with meeting Matty Johns. It's almost like you don't want to meet your heroes because it looks bigger on the TV screen, and it's just like.
And you don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah, you don't want to be disappointed. With Shaq, he's even bigger in person. It's just like it's so intimidating. But he's a champion dude, and he's humble as ever. Like wouldn't expect that he's this icon, as big an icon as he is.
I love any man that at his age will still reference his mother. He said that's why he does a lot of community work, and he's a good person. And he said it's important to give back and to be kind, and that's what you want to be remembered for, not the amount of NBA what do they call them, premierships. Titles that you have, etc., or your accomplishments.
Don't let her get away with that. Don't let her get away with that.
Hey, that's why I asked. I knew it wasn't correct.
They referred to as rings.
I'll do that.
Okay.
That's what they say.
And
two things I was very impressed with Shaq. One was his food came out first. He had ribs and potatoes. Didn't eat until everyone's food came out, and he made it known. Like he was spraying the chef. He was like, "Everybody's food needs to come out now. Like I don't eat until everyone else is eating."
Very good manners.
And then the second thing was he was a huge fan of kittens, which
Stop
is
it.
he actually was.
Stop
Trish,
it.
no word of a lie.
Yeah.
He mentioned it in his on the pay-per-view thing. He was talking about how he went to kittens while he was in Melbourne as well, and he made it well known to us that he had one of the best nights of his life with kittens.
Oh my god.
Which I was ecstatic. I offered to give him my membership card, but I think he's already got one. So,
Jack, exciting news for you. You went and had dinner with one of the Sydney Kings players. So,
yeah, he was. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Now, Trisha, what do we got next, mate? You're running this show today.
Yes, I am. Matt, boys, can you tell me what is the most ridiculous lie you've heard come out of your father's mouth?
Okay, I'll start first. I once caught Dad treating himself like an amusement park.
Oh, no, he did not.
Yes, I did. And you know I did. I've caught you twice.
Oh.
I've caught you twice. I think I've actually mentioned it on this podcast once before, but the second time I was a little bit older and I walked in the off-season to go see my dad give him a cuddle and a kiss on the forehead in the morning. And he was in there. He was on the iPad, and the doona was pitched up like a tent. And he was on the iPad. He quickly sort of put it down. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm just reading the morning news." And we both knew he was lying. Neither of us said anything. I just went out of the room, let him finish his business. But that one hurt a little because I know we're both adults. He could have told me to my face that he was just treating himself.
Yeah, Mum never told me I'll be still wanking at 50. Anyway, there you go.
Well, mine was the fact that It might have been one of his birthdays. Something happened, and anyone that knows Matthew knows that he doesn't smoke. He's never smoked. Well, up until that point, but he disappeared. He went on a walk. He went on this weird, strange walk, and then come back, and he was acting real weird, like real strange. I go, "What's going on, man?" He goes, "Oh, nothing, man." I go, "Oh, geez, why do you smell like cigarettes?" And he goes, no reason. And then you like denied it for like 10, 20 minutes until you went, "Okay, you got me. Finally." I thought, I don't know how old you turned. It might have been your 40th or maybe in your late 30s. And you just went, "I just wanted to try it."
I've never been a smoker, and I just thought, you know what? I opened up and someone was smuggling away a couple of cigarettes, so I thought, you know what? I got it out. And just went for a walk and just thought, I'll go have a smoke through the streets. And when Trish came back, "What have you been doing?" And I don't know why I denied it. And then she said, "You smell like smoke." And I said, "Yeah, someone was burning off down the road." Remember that? I told someone.
It was so weird.
Someone was having a bonfire.
Yeah,
Yes.
weirdo.
All these
hilarious.
kids were having bonfires, and one fell in. I went in and rescued him.
Well, mine is this old doozy. I'll be home in an hour.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, you know you're lying when you say it.
It's always.
I know you're lying. It's just like a little dance we do around each other.
It's always an hour. It's always an hour. It's like when you used to say to me with gambling, "How'd you go?" And I said, "I just broke even."
Oh, man, that's another lie.
Jack, what's your song for the week, mate?
Cobra, I've gone with the Arctic Monkeys actually released a new song this morning.
Did they?
Because they announced that they're releasing a new album very soon. The song's called "There'd Better Be a Mirror Ball," and if the album's like the song, it'll be a shit album because it's a shit
really?
song.
Oh,
There've been a lot of misses from the Arctic Monkeys.
that's a shame.
Yeah, their last is it last two or last one? Yeah, the last two albums after the AM album, which was easily their best. It's just been putrid. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it has been poor. The guy who produced the AM album was, of course, from Queens of the Stone Age. Jack,
Josh Homme.
Josh Homme did a great job there. I don't know where they're going. I think they're trying to reinvent their sound. Very, very hard to do. Just give the people what they want, Alex.
Old stuff. Okay. Feedback?
Yeah.
Got a big shout out to one of our younger listeners, young 12-year-old Nashi Kane. Now, your dad tells me that you go to bed listening to our family podcast every night. Now, you know who his dad is?
Yeah.
Joel Kane.
Oh, yes.
And Dad's a little offended because he never listens to his and Fletcher's show. He doesn't listen to your footy ones. Yeah. He just likes the family ones.
Yeah, and
you know
and Joel and Fletcher, if you listen to SN in the afternoons, it is a cracking show. Starts 3 till 6 every afternoon in SEN. Have a listen to it. It's really good.
Show. So big shout out to Nash.
They're a really good mix because Fletcher's just totally off the wall and just flies by the seat of his pants. And Joel does the groundwork, and Joel is facts man. Man, he knows a little bit about everything.
That's
Very good.
Okay, and the other little bit of feedback I've got, Matt, your shirt on last Thursday night's show on Fox was absolutely horrendous. Did anyone? Was it that horrendous in real life? On television, it was awful.
Yeah, right.
It actually was so awful that as I was watching it, it prompted me to create a poll on Instagram to see what people thought of it. Most people thought it looked like you had a bad case of dandruff.
Yeah, there was that sort of look. Yeah.
Others thought it might be dust, and then a smaller few agreed that it was a fleck through the shirt, which it was. I actually sent the poll to the head of wardrobe, and that shirt has been
You did not.
burnt.
You
I did.
did.
I did. Because that's the second time it's made an appearance, because I had people send it to me before and I was like, oh, right, and I didn't really pay attention.
Wow. I can't believe you did that.
Oh, no, she agreed.
Because do you know Kamal rings the girls at wardrobe and will ring up and say, hey, I saw how you dressed one of the guys. Compliments, you did a really good job.
Kamal does?
Yes.
God love him.
Yes.
Who's Kamal?
Kamal was an
singer.
iconic Australian singer.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
It'd be a fair age now.
He would be. And he knows the girls from, years of being involved with television, and he'll just ring him and say, hey, I like the way you dressed Fletch. He looked good because he's a rugby league man. Loves his rugby league.
Yeah, good on him.
Actually, I got a compliment for Cooper on what night was it? Game night, Sunday afternoon.
Say it to me. Give it to me.
Seabus Super Stadium. I had a couple of young fellas come up to me. Some of them were saying what a great 18th man job I did, and I obviously accepted their gratitude of me. But young Dash Crawley, a young fella, his old man actually runs
Valley.
Mark Crawley runs Valley Eyewear.
He does.
He's a creative Valley Eyewear, and he'd come up to me and said that he came to the sheds afterwards. He said he listens to the podcast all the time. And he said Cooper, he wants to meet Cooper Johns. He said Cooper is a very, very funny dude.
He'll be disappointed.
They're a nice family.
Thank you very much for that, mate. I'll send you some. Mate, get in contact with him, mate. I'll get you some signed boots, mate, to get them out to you so you can frame them up, put them on your wardrobe.
Valley Eyewear, very, very good. Now, a guy got in touch with me the other day and said, mate, you met a relation of mine at North Sydney Oval, Trish. Do you remember the old bloke that came up? And this is not his name, but he came up, he was a classic. He'd had a few drinks under his belt. And I'm sitting there I was actually sitting there, it was me, you, then a couple of the Roosters.
Board members. And sit with Nick Politis, and Nick just likes to sit. He was just watching the football intently, and this bloke walks up and literally just sits straight in front of me, Nick Politis, and you know those old blokes that talk like they've got a few beers here. Hello, Matthew. My name's Bob Stevenson, and I support the Manly Seagulls. Hey, and my wife, mate, she goes for the Roosters, and don't we get into it? Hey, mate, how are you? Are you going good? I tell you what are you doing, are you? Anyway, then he turns and looks and goes, who's this bloke? To Nick Politis, right? And I said, it's Peter V'landys. He goes, well, I'll be damned. Peter V'landys, aren't you doing a wonderful job? And I love the racing as well. I can see Nick just sit there going, my God. Those on-it tablets aren't really working for you, are they?
What do you mean?
Because you told this story 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you did. I thought you did.
Righto, on that note, we'll take a break and we're getting to the pointy end of the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast. I've been ridiculed through the ad breaks.
My Lord.
Trish, pick it up.
Okay, another theme question. Boys, what's your favourite thing about Matt?
His body.
Actually, can I start?
Go on.
It's his two sons.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mum.
Thanks, T.
That's my favourite thing about
You?
me as well.
Yeah.
So what would we narrow that down to? His seed?
No. Essentially the job I did raising you.
Okay, righto.
Thank you for my DNA.
Thank you for spreading your seed. Let me go to Matthew's sense of humour. Always been a huge fan of it. He still cracks me up to this day. Learned a lot from him, mate. Just keep doing what you're doing because your show, mate, it's going good.
Maybe just keep listening then if you're learning stuff because, son, let me tell you, still got a long way to go, okay? Learn off the old master, old Yoda here.
Yoda.
Did you say Yoda?
Yeah, he did.
Yoga.
Godota. I'd go with your creativity, Cobber. You're a very creative guy. Like, if there's a few, not that you come up with many solutions, but when you do come up with a solution, it's usually done in a very creative way.
You know what? If you look for a solution that doesn't involve my hands, I'm good at that. Okay, if you like, for instance, if you were to say, righto, I've got this and it needs a name, or this and I need a concept, that's what I'm good at. If you said, hey, I've got this, can you fix it? I'll turn and walk the other way. So, yeah, I'm not a handsy guy, so to speak.
Are you sure with that?
Well,
Unless it's on myself.
let's not forget it, mate. That iPad, that poor iPad has seen some things. Mate.
Imagine if someone got hold of the search history on that thing.
Yeah, no, I threw it against the wall.
The other thing I'll give you is you're a very entertaining writer. I enjoy reading your written work.
Thanks, Trish.
Yeah, that's
well,
right.
aren't I feeling good about myself? Cooper, what do you got for this week, mate? What's got on your goat or amused you?
Two things. This is Cooper's Corner, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, I was just making sure that was the introduction
Sorry.
for Cooper's Corner. Little shout out, two shout outs this week. Marky Brentnell, Storm Attack coach. He listened to our most recent he's actually a very keen, avid listener to the podcast. Listens to it every week. He lives about an hour away, so he drives from his property into Amy Park, and he always listens. Shout out to Marky. And he came up to me yesterday and he said, do you think maybe the wishy stuff is going a little bit too far? And I just wanted to say to Marky, no, I don't think it is. I think it's just perfect at the moment. Let's not go overboard with it. Wishy is starting to get a little bit sad. I'm not going to lie. I do start to feel a little bit sorry for him. We were walking on Swan Street in Richmond the other day, of all places, and I stopped to talk to a bloke who owns Mr. Romans, which is a really good Italian restaurant on Swan Street. Was having a chat to him, and Wishy come over, and one of his workers actually came out who listens to the podcast, and he had to go at Wishy for how many ribs he had.
Oh, no.
And Wishy did not have a bar of it. Was quite angry at the man.
No.
But yeah, he's not enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, you got to let him be.
Well,
Leave him.
Wishy, stop
Leave
doing
him.
it, mate, and we'll lay off. Right?
Obviously, it's not true. If it was true, we wouldn't be saying it.
Yeah, of course not. Big shout out to Marky Brentnell. A lot of people don't know this, but old rugby league fans. Mark Brentnell's father is the great Greg Brentnell, who a Wagga boy who played for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. If you go back to the 1980 grand final, he's the guy that puts the left foot kick in for Stevie Gearin to score that iconic try. And he toured with the 1982 Invincibles, the first Australian rugby league side, Kangaroo side, to go through Britain and France undefeated. So,
Wow.
yeah, shout out. Hell of a player. Very good.
And one more shout out, Big M. The Yeppoon Seagulls, they won their grand final on the weekend. And Yeppoon Seagulls great, the Pig, Harry Grant's dad. I don't actually know his first name because we just call him Pig.
It's
no.
Grant. His first name's Grant.
Is it Greg Grant?
Yeah.
No,
GG's.
Grant, yeah.
But shout out to the Yeppoon Seagulls. They're up there. I think they're still having Mad Monday. So good on them.
And good on G-Spot, old GG.
What, and
He's
is
going
Pig
good.
joining them?
Pig was filthy. He couldn't be there because it was Old Boys Day on the grand final. So he was saying to Mark, he was going, "Oh, I'm down." He refers to Harry as two nicknames. He has Dick Whacker and Cockhead. So he goes, "I'd love to be back watching the gullies on the Old Boys Day. I'm too busy down here watching this cockhead."
Oh, no.
Well done, Pig. I'm going to make some notes about that. That's good. Yep.
Okay, our final theme point for the day is who would you have play Matt in Matthew John's The Musical?
Please say Todd
Oh,
McKenny.
please go down with this. Jacko, I'd love to hear what you've got to say.
Well, I'm glad Cooper mentioned Russell Coight earlier, and there's a reason I knew who plays him, Glenn Robbins, is because I chose Glenn Robbins, the guy
There
who plays
you go.
Russell Coight.
Love Glenn Robbins.
Well, he did a great job as Kel in Kath and Kim,
He
right?
was awesome.
So, that works. Coopy.
I had a little bit of a strange one. I actually had Rove McManus. I thought Rove. Obviously, him and Dad have similar sort of traits, having TV shows named after themselves. I think that's probably one.
That's true, Matt.
But hang on, people watch mine.
Oh,
I don't even know if Roves is still getting a run. I haven't seen him around in a long time. But I thought Rove would be perfectly fitting for Dad, and I'm not too sure about Rove's height. So
Yeah.
I think he might be a small dude.
He put towers above me. He actually, his production company does a lot of TV shows.
I think they do The Project.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Okay. I started out with Hugh Jackman,
Yes.
but then I thought, like, from his wonderful work in Les Miserables.
Yes.
But then I thought, it doesn't really fit your build, look, frame. So then I ended up with Dudley Moore.
No.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Right.
If you don't know who Dudley Moore is, please Google him. He was the man who played Arthur.
Okay.
And unfortunately,
woman in red.
he has passed away.
Oh, no. Can't have a dead man.
But
playing
you
me.
need someone with big jazz hands. Matt does a really great. Can you just do a little jazz hands? Yeah. Sometimes he'll get quite inspired around the house and come out with his.
Yeah. I
Jazz
tell you what I'd
hands.
like, Mark Holden. And so you can do it. Touchdown. Where'd have Mark Holden's going?
Dunno.
They've got to bring him back
Killing
to one
it.
of these shows. Okay, tip of the week. I don't know if people have got one. I've got one for you for a podcast called American Scandal. And there's the latest edition, which is Edward Snowden. Of course, he was the whistleblower on the American government spying on its citizens. Very, very, very good. Yes, very good.
Actually, I started watching last night on Netflix the Michael Schumacher documentary.
Excellent.
Very, very good. I'll finish that this evening. Just reminding everyone, these shows are now available on YouTube if you want to watch it, or if you don't. Hey, now Matt, to finish on, because it is Father's Day this weekend, and I've organised a really great gift from us boys. You'll be pretty impressed. I'm excited for you to come and see it when you get home. Matt, what would be on your wish list for Father's Day?
No,
Off the cuff.
That all you guys remain healthy and happy. Well, anyway, remain healthy anyway. How about that?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just think it's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Righto, that's all we got for this
Dad,
week. Sorry.
Can I do one little act of generosity? I'm feeling generous.
Go.
Go on, bud.
I want to do a Father's Day giveaway. So when this comes out on Friday, when you've heard this part of the podcast, if you to get enrolled into it, share our podcast on your Instagram story, tag me, and everybody who shares it on their story, we'll go into the running to win a cool little prize. I don't know what the prize is going to be yet. It might be a pair of footy boots. Signed by yours truly, or maybe some Storm kit.
Some
Melbourne Storm kit. But I just want to give it reward our listeners. So,
Great marketing, Cooper.
You're
welcome.
I'll tell you what we have to dig out, which would be really hot property, would be, and Trish, we just got to go searching for it, is that we've got a Toby Bryant signed Lakers jersey.
Sorry.
It's Kobe, not Toby Bryant.
Toby Bryant?
Sorry, I meant Toby Sexton. No. Okay, we have a Kobe Bryant signed Lakers
But I
jersey.
can't find it.
And we just can't find it at the moment.
Yeah, in the house move, I don't know.
It was signed by, yes, well, I told this the other day.
Yeah, you did.
It was signed by.
Oh, there you go. Those onnets are working.
Yeah,
you
well,
remember
I
that
mean-
you said it.
Yes, by a great friend of ours, girl he was seeing at the time, who was friends with Kobe. So we just need to find it. If we can find it, people, we're gonna make it one of our prizes.
I don't think so. Cooper wants that.
Dad, it actually says to Jack and Cooper. I don't know if we can just give that away.
Okay.
Stop promising things you can't come up.
What a coop's sake.
Okay,
Righto, guys,
it's time
have a
to
good
go.
week. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.